Fellow tennis nerds, let's talk about some pro player trends. The game is evolving like everything else, and the strategy is not quite the same as it used to be maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago, where you maybe could more target one guy's weak backhand, or some players were just playing like cat and mouse tennis or running around behind the baseline trying to pass you, playing very defensively. There are some different styles, of course. Tennis has not changed that much, but all the players are now obviously strong enough to just hit a winner, and it's a little bit more baseline bashing than it ever was before. I'm keen to hear your opinions in the comments. Maybe you disagree, but it's definitely a little bit more of a monotone game. I'm not saying always the case. We have some real entertainers there, but everybody's very solid, very fit, and it's a little bit who has the best day or the best week in the case of Valentin Vacherot, or best 2 weeks, who played an amazing Masters in Shanghai and won that. Serve return still the most important strokes, but from the baseline, even the tallest guys on tour move so well now and can generate so much power. So the sport for sure has changed, and there are a few reasons for that. Of course, like things are moving along in terms of fitness, in terms of bigger teams, in terms of more tennis dedicated training. They use more powerful rackets. We'll get to that, but there's also a lot of talk about the balls. This is something that there have been many videos made about already. I have probably made a few videos about this myself, but the balls are not as good as they used to be before the pandemic. I think there's a pretty strong consensus around that, and whether there's some issues with the rubber factories or they just decided to get better margins and use lower quality materials, we don't really know. But the balls don't last as long as they used to. I don't think we're all hallucinating. It's just a case where you play even as an amateur for like an hour or two, the balls have fluffed up and are so bad it's just throw them in the trash. And that's even worse, of course, if you're a pro and you're hitting harder, putting more rotations on the ball. So the balls go dead quicker. In pro tennis, they change every 9 games. The first 7 as well, because they include a warm-up. We've seen players trying to combat this by going to more powerful frames, going down in tension. They are worried about injuries. It's obviously tough on the arm to be hitting dead balls. So yeah, you're going to work so hard to hit a winner and to get spin on the ball. So it's definitely going to change things up. That's why we're seeing larger head sizes, lower tensions, stiffer rackets, just trying to get more power so you can actually hit a winner, because sometimes with the ability the guys have to move and defend, it's tough to hit winners. Like it is requiring quite a lot. So game is definitely changing. You might argue also that the courts have become a lot slower. I mean, they did make a conscious effort to slow things down in the time of like Goran Ivanisevic, these types of guys that were serving bombs, and it was a lot of aces and unreturned serves. For a while we had serve cannons like Karlovic, you remember, and these players achieving pretty solid success with a big serve on faster courts. So they slowed down the courts to have more entertaining rallies. Did they go too far? Maybe they overcorrected and we need to correct back a bit. Roger Federer even talked about this on the Served podcast.
We need to have not only fast court, but what we would want to see is Alcaraz or Sinner figure it out on lightning fast, and then have the same match on super slow and see how that matches up. And that's how the ranking points used to be. Remember, back in the day, only 12 tournaments counted. So everybody would play on their favorite surface.
They would stack their surfaces.
Yeah, and then they would sometimes meet. And those were the best matches, you know, when you had the attacker against the retriever. And now everybody plays similar. It's because the tournament directors have allowed, with the ball speed and the court speed, that every week is basically the same. And that's why you can just go from winning, I don't know, French, Wimbledon, US Open, and just play the same way.
Very rarely do you see a very fast court. That might suit some players well and not others, and that would have made tennis a little bit more interesting to watch when you know someone is great on fast courts but pretty bad on slow courts, the way it used to be. And now, since they're all very similar, you're kind of breeding the same game style. The more contrast, the more variety you have, the better the sport is to watch, in my opinion, and I think we'll all gain from kind of entertainment value in that case, because you will have like the clay court specialists versus the big servers come out at Wimbledon. You know, that has changed a bit. They can all have good results on any surface now since they are so similar. Alex Zverev had a salty comment saying that the tournament directors made the court slower to suit Sinner and Alcaraz.
No, I hate when it's the same, to be honest, and I know that the tournament directors are going towards that direction, because obviously they want Yannick and Carlos to do well every tournament, and that's what they prefer.
I don't think that is true. This has been going on for quite a long time. So I do agree with Roger. Easy guy to agree with. And I disagree with Zverev in this case. Racket-wise, I've talked about this before. trend is definitely faster rackets. It means that the rackets are lighter overall, so they're faster to swing. The game requires more speed. It's sped up. You're getting players swinging faster, hitting with more spin, and moving better. It's all just faster overall. So the rackets need to be faster to follow suit, and we have less weight on the rackets. You still have players, Cerundolo with huge swing weight, Djokovic still plays heavy, still a few guys playing quite heavy, usually the older guys, but the rackets are overall getting lighter. A lot of college guys coming up on tour and doing well with those. They do not play with like high tensions either. They're playing down to like 45 pounds. Some players like Brooksby even has 45, 47 pounds with a gut and a softer poly. As I said, for you guys, amateurs, club players out there, maybe try lower tensions. If the pros can do it, maybe we can get something out of it, because it does help with comfort. Your body's gonna thank you with these lower tensions instead of going higher. And if you're like to be high, try a gut hybrid or a multi-gut hybrid, then you will have a little bit more comfort and more power at least. So lower swing weights, I've seen the average to be around 335 strung, 305 unstrung on swing weights, and that is much lower than it used to be. It used to be much higher. To give you a little bit of an idea, guys like Murray and Djokovic now is like around 360 strung swing weight, Murray 372 in his old head PT57A. A lot of players used to be high up in the swing weight range. Roger was pretty low, still like 340 like Sinner these days, but overall the average has definitely dropped quite significantly, and head sizes have gone up. So like what we used to see, you know, when Roger started, he played 85 square inch pro staff and then moved up to 90, which was like really generous. But nowadays no one on tour plays with a 90 square inch racket. It's just too demanding, too difficult, and you cannot defend with a 90 so well. And even Roger at the end of his career said, okay, I've had it with this 90, I need a larger head size. He went to 97, famously became the RF97 autograph racket. He switched to in 2013-14, had a kind of a long switching period there where he was trying a lot of things. Then he ended up winning 3 more Grand Slams in the end, and he could deal with Rafa's heavy topspin on his backhand much better with the larger head of the racket. Some players played with 100 square inch going way back. I mean, Moya played with the soft drive, kind of a pure drive, and Roddick pure drive 100 as well. Rafa obviously Aero Pro drive original. The popularity of it has increased. There's kind of a lot of guys now playing VCore 100, pure Aero 100, and a lot of more 100 square inch rackets. Even like Mpechi Pericard playing with a pure drive. We're seeing more 100 square inch rackets, and I think at some point it might be more of a norm. Now the Aero 98 is going really well because it gives you some power but balances that with pretty good control and a tighter pattern. And the blades are still everywhere, and radicals, because players do like that control. But look at Sinner, 100 square inch with the speed. So lower tensions, bigger head sizes, stiffer frames, higher stiffness on frames. So that's a summary of what's happening. We have more fit guys that can do pretty much everything. The game is tougher on all levels. Like now the top 1,000 players are all good. Like you got 204 in the world winning a Masters. It's not a shock anymore. It's a bit of a shock, but it's still something we can expect happen maybe from time to time. These kind of shocking results, or like a fantastic week on WTA and ATP. The level is so high now. Those are some trends. I keep my eyes on the tour if there are any changes to equipment. Lots of guys trying arrows, lots of guys trying the new Wilson spin racket. What we're seeing is mainly guys always looking for more power. This is not maybe the same trend on the WTA tour. So there's a difference. ATP, they want to have more powerful 98s generally. This is what you're seeing people try even up to 100s. So most WTA players used to play with 100 square inch rackets, powerful rackets. Maybe even that some WTA players now are so good that they can play with more control rackets, like Sabalenka with her Blade 1820. There are a few players using blades or even Blade Pros on the WTA tour, but there's not been that much of a trend change there because they've already been playing with more powerful frames for quite a while. So now it seems to be a frenzy about testing new gear. Sinner Alcaraz effect, you want to try the speed, you want to try the arrow, what can I get from my game? A lot of questions. I am talking every day to different pros on tour about what equipment might suit them better than what they already have, and we're getting into pre-season, off-season. There will be lots of testing going around. We'll follow that with very curious eyes because it will be exciting to watch who makes a switch for 2026. Kudos to all of you who send me things over Instagram or email. I've seen that Rublev is testing new strings in Paris. It's a yellow string. It's not like 4G gold. It's more like a yellow. Maybe not Polytour Pro yellow, somewhere in between there. No idea what it is, to be honest. And we'll see if any stringer can inform me. I mean, he did test a black string in Vienna. I can't find that one out. But we will see if I can find out the one that he's using in Paris. So he's definitely in testing mode, trying to find something in his game. We have Lernetien, who is actually playing later today as I'm talking in the camera. He has switched to an Ultra, but is it the Ultra Cosmetic or is it the real Ultra's 99 Pro, the Steam mold? Or is it his old Wilson Blade Pro? I have not seen good enough images to really verify this. This match tonight I will watch as much as I can of it, at least, or have it like on the side here while I'm working. Sinner did play with the New Speed cosmetic during training in Paris, but I think for the matches he will use the 2022 cosmetic. Why he's doing this, I don't know. Whether it's superstition, whether he feels like these rackets are so broken in and he wants to use them because they feel better, because now they're softer. Pros need to get newer rackets because they break down the carbon fiber so quickly. I mean, they're hitting so hard, stringing so often, so mainly the stringing is more breaking down the fibers than the hitting. The hitting is not that bad for the racket, but the stringing is breaking down a racket quickly. So if you're stringing every day, then you're gonna wear down the rackets pretty quickly. But maybe Sinner likes these softer rackets if they're softer now, and that's what happened to Del Potro, because Del Potro used to want to play with the same cosmetic, and he felt like he got sent other rackets and they were not as soft, and in the end he had to like give up because he only had 4 left of his old batch. And in the end he asked the stringer to string his rackets 20 times, not doing any knots or anything, just to make sure that the racket gets enough bending before he even started hitting with them. Could be that in Sinner's case, or it's something related to like his success with this cosmetic. I don't know. Sometimes it's very personal things affect these types of things. So we will see if he starts playing with the Speed 2026. That looks very black and a little bit white. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out tennisnerd.net, where we post all this stuff in written form and a lot more. You have recommended rackets, recommended strings, and all these kind of stuff on there. And please subscribe and support the channel if you can. Have a nice day now, and don't forget to play some tennis.